All right, if it's Wednesday, you guessed it right. It's always about the desk here on U24 Television. My name is Shadrach Shagaf Kisame, and we're broadcasting here at our home at Nile Avenue, Nakasero Hill. I'm talking UBC headquarters. And thank you so much for all those who keep themselves glued onto the continent's leading intellectual platform. Actually, the highest platform for solution finding. That's right, the desk here on U24 Television. Now, we trust that every time you watch U24, you are inspired, you're motivated, but above all, you are educated. Like tonight, we're going to be discussing something very, very hard. Now, if you are dodging physics in high school, this is the time now for you to pay attention because we're going to be discussing data centers. The man here in the chair tonight, Engineer Eric. I'm telling you, this man, he's not someone who watched things on the internet or on TV, pocketed them, and now he's telling us, no. He's a hands-on man. He's been with Warid, then Airtel, and now he is with Huawei Technologies. And today we're going to be understanding data centers. Do we even have data centers in Uganda? Welcome to the show, Eric.
Thank you for giving me this opportunity to speak out to the public about data centers. Data center is real. It is the new economy. It is the new multi-million-dollar career you can venture in. I would expect that very few people have heard about it, but at least the data center is already there.
Right. So before we even move into the business aspect of it, I want to let you introduce yourself first, and then we'll move into what exactly a data center is.
I think, as he has said, he already gave you a preamble of my CV. I worked with Airtel, I worked with Huawei currently, I still work with Huawei. However, I'm someone who is so enthusiastic about digital transformation through data center builds.
So what is a data center in a layman's language? Because abantu abanda bali chibuli kamocha, and they're trying to understand these very hard things that someone was telling me, muberewe ne mutu mu government ne mutu ba mu luzungu ngati tubitegera. So in a layman's language, what is a data center?
Thanks for that question. Most people don't really understand what a data center is, but I'm here to enlighten you. I'm here to arouse that feeling in everybody about data centers. You're going to love it, you're going to enjoy it, and you're just going to realize that you already have it. Probably you've not seen it yet, but you're going to feel it. I was invited in one of the universities, and someone asked me, actually I was talking about data center, and someone was like, Engineer Eric, we always see you talking about data center on your LinkedIn, on your social media. What is it about data center? Why do you make it look as if it is so sophisticated? And for some few minutes, I was a little bit disappointed that it was an engineering student who was asking me about it. However, I picked up the guts and I explained it right. I think each of us here have heard about the servers.
Yes.
Computer servers. So basically, in a layman's language, a data center is a facility where all those servers are housed.
Okay, a data center is a place where servers are housed. So what is a server?
I don't know how best I can break this, but I believe that when we are talking about servers, different nodes, switches, and all those devices, I believe that people understand them. Yeah.
So a server is, because I want these guys to understand, a server is a point, say, that keeps, say, signals. A Ugandan wants to understand, do we have these facilities in Uganda? Are they present here? Or these are some just things we watch on the internet?
The facilities are already present. However, most Ugandans have not yet been accustomed towards them. However, we have one of the biggest data centers already in Uganda. We have Raxio.
Okay, so with Raxio, what exactly happens? Say telecommunication companies that you worked at stored data there. What is the collinearity? Okay, what is the operation of a data center?
Maybe I didn't add up on this. We already have Raxio, but we also have multiple small data centers across Uganda here. MTN currently is also going to invest in data center, that is colocation. What do I mean by colocation? I hope you get it right. Colocation data centers, they basically sell space. They give you the data center ambience. The only thing you need to do to pick all your network and you put it in their data centers, and you get the data center services free of charge.
So
not free of charge, at a cost.
At a cost.
Sorry.
So you mentioned one of the types Are there any other types, and what are their differences?
We have very many types of data centers. Of course, the one mainly for business currently in Uganda is the co-location, but we also have the hyperscale. Hyperscale comes with too much digital transformation, too many servers. You're in 1,000+ servers. For example, the Facebook, Google, and those entities like that, they have the hyperscale data centers. However, we also have the enterprise data centers. An enterprise data center is a data center owned by a department. For example, maybe like we are here at UBC, and UBC has its own server room. So the server room can qualify to become a data center.
It depends on the capacity.
Yes, however, if you need a data center for your office, for your home, for your enterprise, I can guide you through. Right now, Huawei has developed very many products that can serve best as a data center. Having that product is having a data center ambience right at your disposal.
Right. So someone may wonder, maybe they have a business or something, and they are wondering, okay, if I get this space, why do I need this space?
You need this space because the cost of you running a data center or having to maintain your servers at your cost is always high, because you're not trained, you're not qualified to do this. That's why different entities lease out that operational bit of it to the data center carriers like Raxu.
Right. So a student is watching you, and like the guy that asked you a question, and they are wondering, how do I become like Engineer Eric? I have seen you so many times speaking on international forums, and even this interview, we've been chasing you around. You're in and out of the country. So before we go for a break, a student is wondering, how do I become like Engineer Eric? Did you just go to school and then all of a sudden here you are working for these companies?
At university level, there's no course that is teaching data center technologies in Uganda, but we all believe and attest to this, that digital transformation is taking center stage in all aspects of the economy. So I would really encourage my fellow Ugandans, more so the students at university level, to look into this. Data center is the new oil business entire the whole globe.
Right. Let's go for a break. Then when we come back, we just talk about the risks that are in data centers. Is it possible you can lose my data? Is it possible that data Let's go for a breather, and then when we come back, we're still with Engineer Eric, and I'm telling you, there's a lot to learn. If you missed out on physics and ICT classes, this is your time. You can catch up. Do not go away. I'm coming back. All right, in case you're just joining us, I'm afraid you've missed the very first insightful segment of this very lovely episode of The Desk, where we've gone so much digital, we've gone so much engineering, but I'm telling you, we're breaking it down so that everybody understands, and we're talking understanding data centers. Follow us on our social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Do that for Shadrach Kisame, do that for U24 Television, and guess what? You will definitely be caught up on everything The Desk and everything Shadrach Kisame. We're still with Engineer Eric here, and we're understanding data centers. Let's just talk about the risk, because I take my data there because I'm storing it. Are there chances that data centers, has it even happened before?
Yeah, data centers can shut down, but there are different levels of resilience of data centers. We have what we call a basic data center, meaning that you have multiple points of failure in that data center. That is not a reliable data center, and most entities have such. Then we have tier 2, where we have improved the redundancy. What do I mean by redundancy? Redundancy in terms of power and cooling, meaning that in case there's a failure, you always have some backup. Can you have that in your premises? I guess most people are not qualified to handle such. Then we have tier 3 data centers. These ones have too much redundancy, so there's almost no chance of having a failure. And even if there's a failure, we would only accept a failure of almost only 26 minutes. That is in a full year. So talking about failures with data center, that is drinking and driving. They don't move together. Really?
So there are no chances that, because there are no chances that a company may lose its data after renting space from a data center?
Of course, the chance is there, But when you're looking for a data center facility to hold your information, your servers, looking at their redundancy levels is key. You need to understand where you're taking your servers. Because I believe, giving maybe a case scenario of a bank, what happens if a bank breaks down, the network breaks down because of issues in their servers and power or cooling in their data center? It means that billions of money is going to be lost during that affected period of time. What happens if a telecom company lost the network? I believe the disaster, you can even just imagine about that disaster, and it is so big.
So big multinational, national firms like telecoms, they have their own data centers, or they're also renting from us?
Most of them are already having their own data centers. They are managing their own data centers. However, I think with the growing trends, there wouldn't be any reason as to why a telecom company would own its data center. They can still go and they rent out space in the colocation data centers.
Is that wise? Because I mean, there's so much at stake when it comes to telecom.
No, it is wise because you basically have someone to blame. You see, when you look at the core business, when you look at the telecom core business, it's basically selling minutes. But when you look at a company that is established to run a data center facility, it means that resilience and availability is key for its operation.
So, because we're trying to understand the risks, that because a company is always trying to mitigate risks, so they have to do it right from inception. What are the steps that a company should take before they onboard or before they get a data center?
Thanks for the beautiful question. There are very many processes you should undertake before you make a selection for the data center. I think the following steps can be noted. You would first look at the accessibility of the data center. I wouldn't expect you having a premise in Kampala and having a data center in Karamoja. I think by all standards, the distance and accessibility becomes an issue. But away from the movement and stuff like that, let us look at the resilience levels. I talked about the different tiers of data center. Of course, data center business or technological transformations come with availability and reliability. So availability is based on 24/7. You don't need to lose any service. Any impact on your service is loss of revenue. So you would really expect to look through the data center infrastructure. Is it in position to accord you that kind of security? Or else, if you don't consider that, then you're headed for a shocker.
So that means that because you talked about Raxio, and then there's the National Data Center at NITAU. Is that strictly for government?
Not really. I wouldn't enter so much their business. However, I think they also rent out space. But I wouldn't enter the business of the government.
No, because in the last segment I want to ask you how government, can take this to the next level. Because yes, Raxio, but it's the only one we can mention at that level. But I'm knowledgeable that countries like the US, in Europe, these have different establishments, and that's why they are able to host the kind of facilities that they are able to.
No, actually, you've moved so fast, running to USA. Even here in East Africa, Kenya. Kenya is already a big economy as compared to the Uganda, and the data center business is starting to boom in Kenya. South Africa, Nigeria, massive construction is ongoing.
So what would it take for someone to invest in such kind of a business?
It comes with, it is so much capital intensive. You need to have the state-of-art technology.
When we talk about state-of-art technology, what are we talking about? Computers? What are we exactly talking about?
Not really the computers. The computers, I think that is a by the way at the later stages of the data center, but you need the cooling infrastructure, the power, everything about the data center.
Right. So data centers are some of the infrastructures that pay a lot of money for power.
That is expected, yeah.
Because someone would wonder what does it take, So because now we're talking high level. What if I just want to start like a small server room and then I start hosting for people? Is that possible? Where do I even go to get licenses?
Yes, we do have such solutions that actually can be well used at home in a small office space for SMEs. That is very available. Huawei has very many solutions that can house even only 3 racks, and it gives you a full data center ambience.
So how much of quantity is that? I don't know. Right. So you say you can't enter government. That's a discussion for later. But as we wind up, if someone is trying, you say it's capital intensive. If someone is trying to invest in the data business, but you said someone can start small. How much are we talking? Even when you start small?
I wouldn't break down really how much you need in terms of financials, but I guarantee it's no longer very expensive to own a data center at home or in your small business, depending on how many racks, the volume of equipment you have. I wouldn't really say that it is a very big deal anymore.
Before we go for a quick break, first take us through the transition where we used to have, very big computers, you needed a whole building to have maybe 3 servers, 2 servers, and now you're telling me you only need a small room like this to keep, quantities and quantities of data.
I think we've all experienced the growth of a couple of years. I think maybe in the last 50 years, there's been so much growth in the digital transformation fraternity. As you said, we started having very, very big computer rooms. But of course, they're not as intelligent as the ones we have today. But then over time, there was invasion of the chips. I think this is not something I'm going to expound so much on. I'm not going to expedite it into bottom detail, but over time, we've held different sessions talking about this. I think the time is not enough for me to explain it into bottom detail. Maybe we shall get another session.
Yeah, we shall get another session
to run through that.
Yeah, and just talk about that, because I wanted to understand that if now a data center is just a couple of offices, how was it before? How were people keeping data before?
Before there was no much need of keeping data, but as you know that as we keep advancing, the economy is changing. You're investing in bitcoins, you're investing. So I was still telling you that the economy is not only the Ugandan economy, the economies around the globe have moved on from the analog mechanisms. We are now embracing digital. So with the digital transformations currently ongoing, expect that the era of information age is going to grow massively.
Right. Let's go for a quick break, and then when we come back, we'll talk about, the different data solutions for SMEs, because Uganda is currently having a lot of SMEs as it's the most enterprising country in the world. Let's go for a break. We come back, we're still with Engineer Eric, and I'm telling you, we're getting schooled about data centers. I'm coming back. All right, welcome back. You're still tuned onto the continent's leading intellectual platform, actually the highest platform for solution finding. I'm talking about none other than The Desk. And today we're taking a deep dive in understanding data centers. It sounds a little bit complex, but these are some of the things that go on in our society, in the corporate world, like we have known it. But these are things that we really, really need to know what is happening. My name is Shadrack Kisame. Follow us on our social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, everywhere for Shadrack Kisame and U24 Television. And remember, we're broadcasting here at our home, Nile Avenue, Nakasero Hill. I'm talking UBC headquarters, but guess what? You are live on U24 Television. I'm still with Engineer Eric, and he's schooling us on data centers. Engineer Eric, I want to understand in this last segment, Uganda is the most enterprising country in the world. We're having a lot of enterprises coming on here and there every day. But we need to understand, what are the solutions for them to keep their data safe and, economically?
Currently, we have different data center solutions, mainly targeting the SMEs. What I would say that a cabinet is, in a layman's language, maybe like a cupboard where you're going to put your servers.
Yes.
So depending on how many servers you have, how many nodes you have in your system, we can design for you a data center solution. So it can range from 1 cabinet, 2 cabinets, 3 cabinets, 4 cabinets, up to
So
the highest maximum you can achieve.
So what informs the number of cabinets?
The number of cabinets is not specific to a particular maybe economy or something like that, but it depends on your data individually. Are you having too much servers? How big is your business? All that dictates how many cabinets you're going to need.
So big in terms of, let's say, is that in terms of, you know, website? How much data do you have on your website?
Not really. It comes from the size of your network. I wouldn't expect that UBC size of network is maybe the same as a small radio starting up. So based on the size of your network, it will dictate how many servers you're going to have, and hence how many cabinets you're going to need.
So an SME is starting and they're watching you and they think, do I really need this, or Eric, you just want to make money?
No, they need it. There are two options. You can either find where your data is safe, maybe going to a co-location data center, or else you can contact me. I give you a solution and you have full data center ambience right in your business.
So what do you need when you're designing a solution? You need full access to my business. What exactly do you need?
I don't really need full access to your business, but I just need to study the magnitude of your network and how many devices you need to host and what their power consumptions are.
So how am I protected? You know, this is an SME in their mind. How am I protected from people like you? What if we fall out and you end up going with my secrets?
You're very protected because we don't enter into your information systems. We don't really enter into your information, the software. We only deal with your hardware.
So, because again, if someone did not have, let's say, a technical person like yourself on their team, and they need to now hire you on the outside, what would your advice be to them so that, you know, they are not exploited? Because a layperson like Shadrach, I don't know exactly what's happening. I don't know what I'm exposed to. All I do is, okay, host for me. How do I protect myself?
But I think every entity should really develop towards developing information security procedures. You can't just let your information out. Your information is intrinsic to your business.
Yes, true.
It's the core of your business.
Yes, that's true.
So really, I would believe that every organization, let it be an SME, information security is key.
And that's, I think, a discussion that we can have later on, information security and how you protect data security, how you protect yourself. That is something else. But I just wanted you to, you know.
Yes, however, maybe I can make this disclaimer. Data centers, one of the cores of the data center is security. So maintaining someone's security is key. We cannot give out your information to your competitors, because if your competitor landed on your information, they can use it in any possible way they want. So information security is key for data center life. Right.
So in case anything, we've never had situations like that.
Of course we have them, but I don't have any known situations in Uganda
where competitors are hosting their data in the same data center.
Yes, you can, but it depends, because you cannot be in the same cage. Each person is given a different cage. However, there are very many security procedures that are met in a data center to make sure that your information equipment is protected from attack.
Yeah, because, you know, Eric, we can never exhaust all this in the 30 minutes that we have on the desk. However, and we can never, because, you know, government is the #1 stakeholder in everything, you know, and they have the national that we talked about earlier, the national, you know, data center at NITAU.
NITAU, yes.
How can government help people that are in the business of data centers? You know, how can they make their space favorable so that we have a lot of more people other than Raxio? We have a lot of other people investing in data centers.
I think lowering the rates so that very many people can embrace the data centers. Because most of us have too much information that maybe need safe places like data centers, but maybe they look at it as an impact on their business. So if the rates are lowered to what people can afford, I think it would help out for the SMEs.
So what rates should be lowered? You mean taxes for the data centers?
Not really. I'm meaning the rentals, the rental charges.
The rental charges.
Yeah.
Is that from government or the data centers themselves?
That is the data center. That is from the data centers themselves, but also from the government, because this business is not regulated by the government anyway.
It is not regulated by government.
Not really.
Not NITA.
Every person determines how they are going to charge. This is a laissez-faire economy.
So anyone can say for this kind of cabin, this is how much.
No, I wouldn't expect a data center that is going to give you resilience up to tier 3 to charge the same as a tier 1 data center. I wouldn't expect. So the more infrastructure the data center invests in, of course, that one would speak much to the price they are going to charge at the end of the day.
But do you think if government, say for instance, enhanced their NITA-U, facility, and would it be cheaper for SMEs to access other than individuals?
I wouldn't really want to comment so much about NITA-U in terms of business, but
no, we're talking about government. We're talking about government, not NITA-U.
If government is ready for that, I think it would work out, because given their strategic location in town, I think it would be a safe haven for the SMEs around town here.
Right. Before we wind up again, if I'm an investor and I wanted to invest in data services, technology is, as internet penetration is going, even in Uganda, and it's increasing. A lot of people are now accessing in rural areas. Would you advise me to open up a data center in a rural area?
I wouldn't advise you.
Why?
Let us look at where the business is. I gave you an example that I can't be in Kampala and I have to travel up to Karamoja to go into a data center facility. No way. I think a data center facility should be a little bit located near where the business is. I wouldn't expect much business up country or Karamoja, but at least out of the city like Namamba, I would expect that the accessibility to Namamba is very easy as compared to moving up country.
How about the businesses that are in rural areas?
The businesses in rural areas, but we also have different data center solutions.
Yes.
For example, someone is interested in starting a colocation business up country, you can even get a container, a fully customized container, and you put for the people the data center there. But if you're looking at the big picture, it might be not sufficient enough to put a data center up country in the long run. It might affect your finances.
No, because I'm looking at that for as a solution for government, as their because the other day I was talking to UCC, and they're trying to increase ICT accessibility in rural areas, and I'm thinking that's the first way to go.
Yeah, they can put their small data center solutions. Actually, that can be key. But when I'm looking at a colocation data center that is going to get profit out of selling its space, I wouldn't find it feasible having a data center in a rural place.
That's too far. You have no business.
Those ones in Kampala are already struggling, so I wouldn't advise.
Right. I am telling you, this is a complex topic, but we're coming to one end. What are your parting shots? Because I think there's so much that we need to talk about when it comes to technology, when it comes to technology and engineering. So we'll need maybe to do other series, because there's information security that we need to talk about. There's so much that we need to talk about for people to understand that it seems really hard for the corporates, but yet anyone can adapt it and understand exactly what's going on. So I think we can do a couple of series where you come and explain to us, because now even me, why I'm asking these questions, because now in my head I'm starting to understand that the data center is not as hard as I thought. It's just a room. It's just a room with different servers. Yeah, but what are your parting shots to SMEs that are watching you, to government, but then also to individuals?
In order to embrace fully the digital transformation, I think availability and reliability to our security is key. So I believe that I think my closing remarks would be based on advising more SMEs to embrace data centers. I know it is something new, but you need continuity in your business. Yeah. I'm just imagining what impact a bank would feel in case service is lost. Let it be even for 5 or 10 minutes. I think the impact is too much.
Is that what happens when banks tell us, system you have deco?
Not really, but it could be one of the reasons. You could be having a breakdown in the server room. It could be due to power, the cooling, and all other factors that can affect the availability
of that data. All right, thank you so much for coming today, Engineer Eric. I'm telling you, there's still so much that we can study. And at first we thought people who do these things, China, people who come from abroad.
Not really.
So are people of your kind here in the country?
Currently, we are very few. We could be having not more than 10 data center engineers, but the ground is open for everyone to learn.
Did you study here, or you have to study it abroad?
I did not study it abroad. I studied it from here. I did different professional courses in it until I understood it to bottom detail.
Okay, so anyone does not have to lose hope. You can still be here and upgrade, do professional courses. How do people reach you in case they want business?
I think on my LinkedIn, that is engineer Eric Mukasa Ricardo. I'm ever
Strictly
posting
LinkedIn.
too much. Yeah,
Strictly LinkedIn.
Not really, but I'm ever posting too much. But I'm also available. I have a master class for data center. I will share my contacts.
Yeah, data. Okay. All right. We cannot go past this, but we wish we could have you again here so that you can give some of what you give in the master class here also.
Thank you.
All right. Now that has been this week's episode of The Desk, where we've been understanding data centers. I'm telling you, it's not as complex as you think. Technology is one of the best things that you can embrace, because we're more, like he said, going towards the direction of digital transformation. And that's what one of the strategic platforms and strategic directions that government is also taking as a country. But we cannot go past this. We want to say good night, good luck, adios for God and my country. May the good Lord bless this beautiful Uganda. Until next week.